I don't think I've ever filmed a video this early before. It is not even 8 a.m, but I realised I'm working from home today, so usually at this time I would have just left the house, I'd be setting off for an hour-long commute, and actually I'm just at home waiting for the working day to start, so I thought I might as well make myself a cup of, what is this, Tulsi Clarity tea. I haven't tried this one yet, but it smells nice. And film a video. I'm good. Emma, stop rambling and introduce yourself. Welcome back to Drinking by Myself. My name is Emma, and this is going to be my N.E.W.T.s TBR. So up until the last couple months, I've been trying to avoid doing readathons because I love them, but I kind of got like burnout from them. But then, firstly, I retroactively did the owls, which is relevant to this one, so I'll link to that below. That was the first stage in this Magical Readathon. What's the name? Is it the Book Owl who made them? Hang on, I should find that out. Book Roast. Of course it's not Book Owl, they're called the Owls. So the booktuber Book Roast made this incredible Magical Readathon, which is Harry Potter based, and it's all about like passing your different qualifications. The owls are now coming up the N.E.W.T.s, and then seeing which careers you can do. It's really, really cool. So I did the owls, and then Rachel Marie did the Book Junkie Trials, which I'll also link my vlog of that, because that was another really, really inventive readathon. I just love these really creative ones. So that was a month-long one for the whole of July. So I'm just about finishing up on this one. So why not do another whole month one? I nearly also did the reading rush. I'd even filmed my TBR and everything, but then it got to the day before I was leaving on holiday and I hadn't had time yet to edit and upload my TBR, and I suddenly was like, I just won't. And then I just won't do a readathon, because the last 3 years that I've been on holiday, I've been doing the booktubeathon or some other readathon every single time. So I've read 7 books in 7 days, and I've done a vlog of the whole thing. And I suddenly this time was like, I just want to chill. I just want to relax on my holiday. So I read like 2.5 books or something, which is really low for me on a holiday. And I barely filmed any of the whole holiday. So it was really, really relaxing. I really recommend. So anyway, talking of impressive readathons, longest introduction in the world, I'm now going to tell you my N.E.W.T.s TBR. So if you watch the Owls video, I basically at the end of the month looked back on the things that I'd read and ticked off the exams I had passed. I hadn't planned it all in advance. This is still really hot. I can feel it like burning my fingers. It's never even going to be ready to drink in the video. This is why I don't film first thing in the morning, because my brain is not focused yet. It's the rambliest thing. So let's have a look. Basically, when I ticked off all the exams I'd passed in my owls and then looked at the careers requirements for which exams you have to go into certain careers, I worked out there were 2 options left for me in the wizarding world. I could be an astronomer or a wand maker. So, having now looked at the further qualifications, the N.E.W.T.s that you need for each of those career paths, I've made my decision. I'm going to attempt to be a wand maker. 5 minutes into the video and I finally said what I'm doing. So for your N.E.W.T.s, basically each career path has different requirements and different grades. It's like real life. It's very cool. So to get an A, for example, to get an A in charms, this is the wizarding world, not the real world, A is at the bottom. To get an O for outstanding in herbology, you have to read 3 books. And to get an E, you would read 2, and to get an O, you would read 1. No, to get an A, you would read 1. It doesn't matter. I'll link to the book roast and she will explain it. So, to get to be a wand maker, I need an O in herbology, an E in care of magical creatures, and an A in charms, which means reading a total of 6 books over the next month, which feels perfectly manageable. And now, without any further bloody ado, I'm going to tell you the books that I planned. So for my O in herbology, there are 3 challenges I have to complete. The first one is to read either an audiobook or a book with a green cover. A little random combination there. So I had a look on my shelf, and I don't really own any unread books with green covers, but this was the closest I got. The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. All of this is green. I don't know if you can tell so much on camera, but it's all green. So this is one of my options, and the other option is to listen to an audiobook. And I think any of the books that I want to read that month, I could just decide that I want to listen to them on audiobook. So I've got some options there, but I am really excited about this one. Hanya Yanagihara is the woman who wrote A Little Life, which is that super depressing and super divisive book, which I absolutely loved. But I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings on, and I think that's why it's such an interesting book, is because it, people feel strongly about it in either direction. I loved it, one of my favourite books I've ever read. So I'm really excited and intrigued about this one, because apparently this one's a lot stranger than A Little Life. For the challenge to read a book between 350 and 390 pages, which, oh my god, was harder to find than I expected. So many of my books are either under 300 pages or over 400. It seems like once you go long, you go really long. So actually getting one that was 350 to 390 was a bit of a challenge. But I found The Well by Catherine Chandler, and I really wanted to read this one. And look, it's got quotes from 2 authors that I really like, Sarah Winman and Jessie Burton. So that's a good sign. And I got this one from Mr. B's, the bookshop in Bath, where they do really amazing personalised recommendations. So after like a long chat of telling the bookseller, Mr. B, everything that I love in books, he recommended me this book. So I've got very high hopes for it. And I also recently read the first line. I did a video with Arj where it was, he read me, I was blindfolded and he read me the first lines from books, and I had to kind of react to them and see which ones I wanted to read. And this first line really excited me. I should tell you what that first line was after that story. Maybe I'll just make you go and watch the video. The first line of this book is, "The well has won me back," which is very intriguing. But yeah, go watch that video with RG, it was really fun. Okay, and then finally for my O in Herbology, I have to read a book with a flower on the cover. And I have got here, oh, if I can get it out of this pile, a gorgeous, lovely advanced copy of The Confession by Jessie Burton. I was just talking about Jessie Burton, and it's got a rabbit on the cover, but it's filled with flowers. That's very nice. I actually have not read The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, but I read The Muse, and I think I'm going to like this one best, because it's not historical fiction, which is a change. This is one that we're publishing at work, and we're going to be talking about it all over book break, so I need to read it this month anyway, so that'll fit my flower prompt. Flower prompt. And I'm very excited about it, and I imagine I'm going to be shouting about it all over the internet. So, those 3 options will get me my O in Herbology. Then I need an E in Care of Magical Creatures. So for that, 2 challenges. First one is to read a book title that starts with the letter A, and I've got 3 options here to give myself a bit of flexibility for mood reading. I've got Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which has been on my TBR for maybe 3 years, and I think I'm going to love it. I've got A Lady and Her Husband by Amber Reeves. I just recently read another, oh, it's all scarfed. Emma, look after your books better. I just recently read another Persephone Press book that I loved. I've read 3 and loved all 3, so high hopes for this. I don't really know what it's about, other than it's about a middle-aged couple with a marriage under strain. How do you say that word? Don't know. And then my other option is A Year of Marvellous Ways by Sarah Winman. That's so funny. I literally mentioned Sarah Winman and Jessie Burton as having blurbs on here, and they're both on my TBR. So you might recognise this one if you're, a hardcore fan, because in last month's Balancing the Books, I unhauled it. So, it's confusing why it's here. But basically, it's been sitting on the side. I try and collect a little pile of books that I'm unhauling before I take them to charity. So it's been sitting there, and I saw it had the A, and also ever since I unhauled it, I can't stop thinking about it, and I kind of wanted it back. So I'm possibly going to re-haul it. It means I'll have to count it back on to Balancing the Books. I haven't decided yet, because I haven't filmed this month's Balancing the Books. So we will see what I do with that, but that's possibly an option on my TBR if it doesn't go to charity. So that's 3 options for the A's. Also, for Care of Magical Creatures, there is a prompt to read a book under 300 pages. That was a lot easier to find than the very specific 350 to 390. So I've picked for this one Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, which is another one that is coming out. We're publishing at work. I've just got a reading copy here. And it sounds really unusual. So it's set in Japan, and it's about a cafe where you can go back in time, but as long as you return before the coffee that they serve you gets cold, basically. I think that's the gist. Okay, so that'll give me my 2 qualifications, and then the last one I need is an A in Charms, but all I have to do is read a book with a gorgeous cover. And so I've decided this is a reread. I've been doing a lot of rereading this year, and that's a thing, and I quite enjoy it. I would like to reread my old favourite book, Vile Bodies by Evelyn Waugh, to see if it's still my favourite book. And this copy I think is absolutely beautiful. I've never read it in this version before. I did a video a few years ago where I talked about books so beautiful I bought them twice, so I will link to that as well. And this is my favourite book. I own quite a few different versions of it, including one that I lent to an old colleague and he still hasn't given it back, and I lent it to him, I'm going to say 5 years ago, and I messaged him on Facebook every few years being like, please give my book back. Anyway, I bought myself this one because it was yellow and beautiful, and then I haven't read it since then. So I'm excited to read it from my beautiful version, and I hope I still love it as much as I always did. So that's a nice little selection there of books I could read to pass my NEWTs. I've got a whole month to do it, so feeling pretty confident in my abilities to become a Hogwarts wandmaker. Not a Hogwarts wandmaker, just a magical wandmaker. To become a wandmaker in the wizarding world as created by J.K. Rowling. So do give this video a thumbs up if you like any of those books, and leave me a comment, let me know if you are taking your NEWTs this year and what kind of things you're planning to read, because I love to hear from you about them. And of course, subscribe to this channel because I post new videos usually twice a week, but this one's a random one on a Wednesday, so you know, you get some bonus ones thrown in there for fun, so you should definitely subscribe so you don't miss them. I will see you next time.